For the Democrats, the question to Bork or not to Bork now stares them in the face as plainly as Adam Schiff's beady eyes. To Bork or not to Bork, a reference to Ted Kennedy's vilification of Ronald Reagan's Supreme Court nominee, Robert Bork. Even as far back as 1987, the Democrats used fear tactics and public humiliation to defeat an opponent.
Robert Bork's America is a land in which women would be forced into back alley abortions, blacks would sit at segregated lunch counters, rogue police could break down citizens' doors in midnight raids, and school children could not be taught about evolution. Writers and artists would be censured at the whim of government.
The man's been trashed. All of us who have sat there, not just members of the committee, but members of the Senate, and let these ads go on, and let this trashing go on, and let this good man be characterized as some sort of Frankenstein's monster without raising a voice against it. All of us are accomplices.
And now, in the age of impeachment, that strategy is the Democratic Party's modus operandi.
The Senate is being called to sit as the high court of impeachment all too frequently. Indeed, we are living in what I think can aptly be described as the age of impeachment.
For the rest of his life, people are also going to remember he was impeached by the House of Representatives.
He was, and as Nancy Pelosi kept saying, because she understood once the House was done what the outcome was going to be in the Senate, forever, forever, forever.
The Senate died today.
We have a hater in the White House, the birther-in-chief, the Grand Wizard of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
You called him the Grand Wizard. It seems you're a member of leadership. What's that line in your mind? Why should the president negotiate with you if you're going to name call him? I know he name calls. Why should he negotiate with you if you're going to name call him?
Well, listen, it's colorful language, and I think that the president is going to have to own his pattern of behavior that has taken place, not year after year, but decade after decade.
The impeachment managers held the Senate hostage. Hakim Jeffries accused them of pushing conspiracy theories while detailing his own concocted Trump Derangement Syndrome Madness.
One of the arguments that we consistently hear on the floor of this Senate, this great institution in America's democracy, is conspiracy theory after conspiracy theory after conspiracy theory. Here's another reason why we know this was not business as usual. On July 29th, Mr. Duffy, a political appointee with zero relevant experience, abruptly seized responsibility for withholding the aid from Mark Sandy, a career Office of Management and Budget official.
While Zoe Lofgren declared,
"This is, of course, an impeachment case against the President of the United States. Nothing could be more important."
Of course, for Democrats, a global pandemic resulting in full-blown chaos and economic collapse is simply a back-burner issue to their rabid borking of our duly elected president and our vote. Especially now that there is a new coronavirus case in the Democrats' Bay Area crap hole, and we are gradually learning that coronavirus may be spread by feces, while Schiff's bold-faced lies aggravated the Senate to the point that Lindsey Graham had given up on any sense of decorum.
You know what I believe about all this? It was a bunch of partisan bullshit in the House. It continued in the Senate. It's going to end Wednesday. The president's going to get acquitted.
When Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer demanded that Justice Roberts vote on the resolution for more witnesses, Chuck Schumer was handed his lunch.
Is the Chief Justice aware that in the impeachment trial of President Johnson, Chief Justice Chase, as presiding officer, cast tie-breaking votes on both March 31st and April 2nd, 1868?
I am, Mr. Leader. The one concerned a motion to adjourn, the other concerned a motion to close deliberations. I do not regard those isolated episodes 150 years ago as sufficient to support a general authority to break ties. If the members of this body, elected by the people and accountable to them, divide equally on a motion, the normal rule is that the motion fails. I think it would be inappropriate for me an unelected official from a different branch of government to assert the power to change that result so that the motion would succeed.
Now America prepares to watch the revenge of the Senate, as the impeachment managers will endure their well-deserved scolding by a captive and insulted Senate on Monday and Tuesday, while President Trump will most certainly address the elephant in the room at the State of the Union on the eve of his acquittal. John Bound reporting.